Another interesting question we have here. It says make S the subject of the formula. X plus root x equals to y. We are given this equation for which we are to make x the subject of the formula. If you look at the equation on the surface, it looks very simple. But to make x subject of formula is not really simple. It is interesting, but it's not quite simple. So let us look at how we can make x the subject of the formula. If we decide to square both sides of the equation to take away the square root, on the left hand side we'll have x plus root x squared. It means root x will also appear on the left hand side after factorizing or expanding that square, which means it is not very simple to just expand or square both sides of the equation. In order to take away the square root of x, we have to make an assumption. So let's start by saying let p be equal to root x, so that we can put p in the place of root x to keep the equation a bit more simpler. If we make p equals to root x, it means we have to put a value here that is not p because this is root x. So let's square both sides of this equation. Let's square p and root x. If we do that, we have that p squared will be equal to x when we square both sides of this equation. At this point, we can now substitute p squared in the place of x and substitute p in the place of root x and equate to y. And the equation becomes p squared plus p equals to y. Your guess is as good as mine. We have a quadratic equation already. To solve this quadratic equation, we have to do that by completing the square method because we cannot factorize, and you can also decide to do, to solve by the general formula method, but I would love to solve this by completing the square method. So if we complete the square method here, the first thing we want to do is to identify the middle term. The middle term is p. Then find the coefficient of the middle term p. The coefficient of p is 1. What you just need to do is to take half of the coefficient of p, square it, and add it to both sides. This is what I mean. We're going to add half of 1. How did we get 1? 1 is the coefficient of the middle term p. Half it, square it, then add that product squared to both sides of the equation. Add it to the left and add it to the right. And it becomes p squared plus p plus half squared, because half of 1 is equally half. Then you squared it, half squared. We added it to the left and we equally add it to the right so that the equation can be balanced. Now that we've done so, let's simplify the left hand side first. What you just need to do is to pick p without the square, pick this sign, positive, pick half without the squared, put everything in a bracket and square it. By the time you expand this p plus half squared, you are going to get the left hand side back. That is, you are going to get p squared plus p plus half squared when you expand this. So this is technically this. Just pick the first letter p without the square, pick this sign here. If this was negative, pick negative, pick half, then square it. And that will be equal to the right hand side, y plus 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So we have y plus 1 over 4. Here we want to simplify the right hand side by finding the LCM. So we have p plus 1 all over 2 squared on the left hand side equal to, the LCM here is 4. 4 into 1 at the denominator of y, we have 4. 4 times 1 gives us 4y plus 4 into 4 is 1 times 1 is 1. So the right hand side is 4y plus 1 all over 4. At this point, we are going to take the square root of both sides so that this square can go out. By the time we take the square root of both sides, it becomes p plus half equal to plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 4y all over 4. I just rearranged the numerator. 1 plus 4y and 4y plus 1, they are the same thing. But this is a better way of representing it. So we have 1 plus 4y all over 4 plus or minus. You can decide to take only the positive value, as you know we are looking for the principal solution of the equation. But I don't mind. Positive, negative is fine. If you do just positive, it's also fine. So we have plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 4y all over 4. At this time, we want to take the square root of the right hand side. So we have that p plus 1 over 2 equals to plus or minus the square root of the numerator becomes square root of 1 plus 4y, because we can't separate this because of the positive. So we have 1 plus 4y square root, the square root of the denominator, which is the square root of 4, gives us 2. Let's move to the next page. So we have this p plus half equals to plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 4y all over 2. To make p subject of formula, we need this positive half to cross to the right hand side and it becomes negative half. So that p will be equal to negative half plus minus square root of 1 plus 4y all over 2. 2 is a common denominator to both sides, so we can just write the numerator and divide everything by 2. So that p will be equals to minus 1 plus minus square root of 1 plus 4y all over 2, because 2 is a common denominator and we can have this. Now, if we square both sides so that we have p squared, remember we are looking for x, so if we can find p squared, automatically we'll find x. So let's square both sides. If we square both sides, we have that p squared is equal to minus 1 plus minus the square root of 1 plus 4y all squared all over 2 squared will also give us 4. So this is p squared. And recall, p squared equals to x. Therefore, our x will be equal to minus 1 plus minus the square root of 1 plus 4y all squared divided by 4. Hence, this is the answer to the question. We have successfully made x subject of the formula. This is positive, negative. If you decide to expand the numerator, that is fine, but it's not really an issue here. You can leave your answer like this because we just want to make x subject formula and we have done that. So if you want to expand the numerator, it's fine, but I don't think it's necessary. So this answer is definitely the correct answer to this question if we made x subject of formula. I believe you enjoyed it and it is very, very interesting. Now there is another simple one for you to do. Make x the subject of formula in this equation. A minus 2 root x all over 3 equal to b. Please put your answer in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching this video and hope to see you in the next video.